Hello and welcome to Community Connection. I'm your host, Tracey Christensen. Reaching out to the elderly and helping intercultural relationships are goals that we have here at KBYU 11. Elinda McKenna from the Adopt a Native Elder program is here with us today to talk about what her organization is doing to help the elderly Native Americans on reservations throughout the Southwest. So this is exciting. Tell us what your organization does.
The Adopt a Native Elder program was founded about 27 years ago, and the director and founder is Linda Myers, who's a resident of Park City. And she was touched by hearing the stories of the Navajo elders living close to the Hopi Reservation, and the fact that they were being relocated without choice and without permission, because there was a political dispute on the boundaries. The Hopi people, the Navajo people, were happy to have not very specific boundaries, but the political entities were not so happy with that. So as people were relocated, they lost their ability to herd their sheep, to subsist on the way they always had. So they lost both their homeland and their ability to take care of themselves in some cases. So she started by taking what she had. She took food, she took clothing, and met Grace Smith Yellowhammer, who is the co-founder of Adopt a Native Elder. And together, they went out to elders' homelands and made a connection that now, 27 years later, includes 500 elders in the Adopt a Native Elder program, and sponsors from all over the U.S. and some across the world, who send support and donations to take food twice a year to the traditional elders still living on the land. Some don't have running water in their hogans, some don't have electricity, and so the gift of food is a very simple way to provide them with some essentials and the heartfelt concern that they continue to live in their traditional ways.
This is really interesting because, you know, a lot of times we'll see commercials about sponsor a child in some faraway country, but here we're talking about sponsoring an elder right here really close to us geographically.
It is, and the great thing about sponsoring an elder with Adopt a Native Elder is you have the opportunity to interact with their entire family. So you may meet their grandchildren or their great-grandchildren, because many of the elderly will take care of the youngsters because there aren't very many jobs on the Navajo Reservation. So many of the young adults, middle-aged adults, go to Phoenix, Flagstaff, Winslow for jobs, or farther. And so the youngsters, either in the summertime or year-round, may actually live with their grandparents.
Interesting. So I'm sure that sponsors are learning about the culture as well as they sponsor an elder.
The culture, it's a very curious thing. Oftentimes people say to me, what are Navajos like? I've been doing this, I've been volunteering for 15 years. Wow. And my response anymore is, what are Navajo what's like? Navajo weavings, Navajo baskets, Navajo food. And it's easy to think that it's all one type of person. But that would be like me asking you, what is everyone from Provo like? What is everyone at BYU like? Yep. The diversity of individuals, the diversity of lifestyle in some cases, and the diversity of what's important to them is as robust for the Navajo people, the elderly in particular, as it is for any other culture.
Yeah. And so how, if someone wants to be involved in the Adopt a Native Elder program, where should they go for information?
The most efficient way to go place to go for information is our website at anelder.org. Once a year we have a rug show. It's our only fundraiser, and it's held in the Snow Park Lodge in Deer Valley. And the elders come up. Everything that their rug is sold for, whatever they set the price for and they earn, they take 100% of their proceeds back home. And it's one of the few places where local people that don't go on food runs can come and meet the elders, find out about their traditional, their artistry, their craft of weaving the rugs, and get to interact with them one-on-one.
And how old are the elders?
You have to be at least 75, and we have some that are in their early hundreds.
And so families, individuals, Boy Scouts, anybody who's interested can be a part somehow.
I saw an ad in the Catalyst 15 years ago that was asking for people who had four-wheel drive vehicles to drive food down to the Navajo Reservation. That's all it took for me.
And that's why you're here today.
And I'm here now 15 years later, and I go 2 to 3 times a year on the food runs or other trips down. We have had many Eagle Scouts that take on Adopt a Native Elder as their as a way for them to raise money and do service, and they come down to the reservation, and the elders are thrilled to see them. They get a really warm welcome for all that they've done, and they raise food or money in their local area. So we've had we have the Amasani program, which is the grandmother program. A classroom can adopt an elder, and then the classroom interacts with the elder. There was a school in Colorado that did this. And there are schools in Utah that also adopt elders. The school in Colorado raised money for a bus trip. They took the entire class to a food run, so they could meet their elder. And so there are many ways. Everything from working in our Salt Lake City warehouse on Tuesdays and Fridays, most Tuesdays and Fridays during the year, or volunteering at our rug show. The Adopt a Native Elder program has a booth at the Park City Farmers Market, and the elders come up, different elders come up a few times during the summer to be at the booth. They bring their looms, they're weaving, they have their jewelries.
It's a wonderful program. Thank you, Linda, very much for sharing it with us. If you would like to learn more about the Adopt a Native Elder program and how you can be a part of helping, go to KBYU11.org and click on the Community tab. Thanks for being with us. Join us next time on Community Connection.